So anytime you're going to speak to any badass motherfucker, or you speak even to a serial killer, or even to a rapist, you speak to them and you hear their story, and then you start to understand how it happened.
Yeah.
Why do these guys need to? They got money.
Yeah.
When you have money, you don't have any problems. You don't need to. Since I was 13 years of age, I used to come here, I look at them, and think to myself, man, what if one day I would become the Ninja Turtle? Yum yum bang bang. Whatever you want. You know? Lady boy even cheaper. You see, you're not a real rich fucking person. You don't hang out at the fucking commons, park at handicap, without a handicap sign, drinking coffee from La La Land. And who's gonna take down the Joker if not the Batman? I'm the real life Batman. And steam can turn back into water. That hot chick was checking me out.
Well, guys, we are about 7 to 8 days out from the fight that is apparently supposed to be taking place between the one and only Bend-Over Azoulay and Gypsy Crusader. And now that we're inching closer and closer to this apparent fight, and now that surprisingly Bend-Over hasn't dropped out yet, it seems that he has just been upticking the content even more than he was already doing. And if you've been hanging around the channel, you know he's really been on some bullshit. And this son of a bitch right here has somehow found a way to even take it to another level and to continue to just bend over and humiliate the ever-living shit out of himself. He is bending over so much that he's got to be gaping back there, and he is still not done receiving a punishment and enjoying his humiliation king. So we're just gonna dive straight on into this and stay on this downright clown's head and look at all of the new shenanigans that have occurred in only the past couple of days. And the last time we even talked about good old Brokeback Ben here, we were basically watching him go on what has to be the worst podcast that we have witnessed to date, mainly due to the fact that he had an off-brand Temu Seth Rogen who was glazing him like we haven't seen glazing before. I mean, I shit you not. The off-brand Seth Rogen here was doing everything and anything, just doing flips on that shit as he rode Benny Boy. And naturally, with the meat riding being this obsessive and hard, it led to Bend-Over just getting an enormous confidence boost where he just felt comfortable saying whatever he liked. And even after 2 videos of covering this shit show of a podcast, we have still not gotten to some of the worst moments and some of the most disgusting things that this clown said. So that's where we're going to be starting off this video before we get into the new video that Bend-Over thought it was a good idea to post, where we will pick up from where we left off with Ben just pretty much deciding that he was going to defend Grape at all costs and was defending his own Grape case along with other people's like Mike Tyson, even though it doesn't relate to his whatsoever and it was a completely different situation. But he basically tries to push the argument that if you have money, then you don't grape and it doesn't happen and it's all just bullshit because you could just pay for it instead.
Let's not forget to mention, what is the cost? You want a Mexican, it's $125 an hour. You want a Russian, it's $250 an hour. You want 2 Russians, they come for $400 an hour because I don't have to do that much work. They take turns. I'm telling you, this is market price. So what? Somebody like Mike Tyson needs to. Back then, what was it? $50 to get it to the room.
Yeah.
You go to Ukraine, you get girls. Each one is like $35. They come in a bus. How many do you want? You go to Thailand, $15. What do you want? Happy ending? Yum yum or bang bang. Whatever you want. You know? Lady boy even cheaper.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you want. Like, why do these guys need to? They got money.
Yeah.
When you have money, you don't have any problems. You don't need to. Raping is like, you're talking about like, I don't know, even homeless people don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's bullshit.
And obviously, there's a whole lot to unpack with whatever the fuck you just watched right there. Especially with Bend-Over's quote of the year, even homeless people don't grape, which is just a lie. I don't know why he would have said that. I don't know where that comes from. Obviously, there are cases like that. But on top of that, the entire argument that he just tried to push doesn't even make sense. Not only does it not make sense, but the fact that he even tried to say it in that way and tried to use it to defend this shit is just straight up disgusting. He is basically claiming that the only reason this crime is committed is because people can't get any because they don't have money. And people who do have money would never do such a thing because they can just go get a lady boy, like I'm guessing he does, and do that instead. But in reality, it is a crime of power, control, and violence. And in a lot of times, it's being used to kind of exert authority over the other person. And that's why the victims feel such humiliation. And that is why overall it is so awful, disgusting, and disturbing. But I guess he wants to play this game to not only try to defend himself, but defend his idols like the Tates and all that shit, because that's what he was doing at the beginning of this, was bringing up Mike as an example and trying to act like it's all just false claims. But even if we played into his horrible, awful logic, this doesn't even apply to his situation because he wasn't rich at the time apparently. So on no level does this make sense. But he was still not done because he was then also bringing up, the whole age of consent is different in different places thing, like we've seen him do multiple times. And of course, off-brand Seth Rogen was eating it up, just like the good boy he was, sitting there being a yes man and not pushing back on anything.
Every place around the world is a different age of consent. And I made a video not too long ago explaining that. I said, men travel the world today and they go places. And it's not fair for a man who comes from a place, let's say, like Italy. Well, let's say he's 18 years old. In Italy, the age of consent is 14. So he comes here and then he dates a 17-year-old and now it's called a rape. He doesn't know. So what we need to do is we need to do an international age of consent. Make it 18 worldwide. I agree with 18.
And he's learned now that he needs to tag on that I want it to be 18 thing because of all the pushback he caught when he tried to use this argument before. But again, it doesn't even make sense, because why would you talk about the age of consent being apparently 14, but then in your example you use a 17-year-old? I guess 14 was hitting a little too close to home, huh, Benny boy? But it is just so absolutely downright ridiculous, and I cannot believe that he felt comfortable hopping in front of the mic and saying this shit. And when he wasn't pushing for this, he was then just also talking about how he was apparently abused as a child and how he got his head cracked open by his father and all of this other shit. And what was really weird about it is for some reason, Timu Seth Rogen started advocating for this needing to happen more often. And it seemed like he was advocating for children to just get the shit beat out of them like Ben did in his story. Which I don't know why he would be doing that, because we all see how Ben turned out. So obviously some sort of brain damage must have happened at that time.
So in that situation,
I was mentally abused. I was emotionally and physically abused. That's what they would call it.
And you were talking in the podcast that we did about how you were hit so badly in the back of your head was bleeding. Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
How often?
A kettle was thrown on my head.
Wow.
The kettle to heat up water for coffee? I was 10 years old. I throw in my hand, I have here, I think it was 24 stitches.
Wow.
My whole head is split open in half. My dad hit me with batteries on the head. He'd throw me in the room, leave me there for a couple of days, tell me that I couldn't come out, smack me. I remember one time, I think I was maybe 6 years old, and we went to the market. The owner, his name was Shia, and Shia loved me. He's the cutest little boy. I looked like a girl, to be honest with you. And Shia gave me a candy. So I put it in my pocket and we left. I was with my dad. And when we arrived home, as we parked, I pulled the candy out and I opened it and I came to bite it. And my dad backhanded me so hard.
Oh, wow.
In the face. And I remember just holding myself like I couldn't breathe. He said, "You're stealing, you piece of shit. You're going to steal." I said, I said, "Shut the fuck up," and smacked me again.
Wow.
Took us back, took me out. Said, "My son stole from you." She had told him, "You motherfucker, I gave it to him. He didn't steal. He was here. I gave it to him, you piece of shit. Why'd you hit him?" He said, "Oh, he didn't steal it." Okay.
When it comes, I just have to mention this. I remember I stole a Dukes of Hazzard toy when I was 9 years old. My parents beat the shit out of me so bad that after that point, I could never steal again, right? And the reason I bring this up is similar. I mean, your dad beat the shit out of you, thinking you stole something, but it made such an impression on you.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm complete with everything that God put me through. Every single thing. I'm glad I went to jail for false accusations. I'm glad that I got to see it right before I would have ended up dead or in jail for the rest of my life. I'm glad that my dad beat me because he taught me how to be a man. He didn't beat my brother. My brother is nowhere nearly the man that I am.
And yeah, the ego's so out of control that he even had to bash the shit out of his brother and talk about how he's nowhere near the man he is. But this is all just ridiculous, to where he's agreeing to him to such an extent that he's agreeing with all of these different stories where he got the shit beat out of him for seemingly no reason. And yes, it can be a problem when a kid's not being disciplined in any type of way and is kind of just doing whatever they want. But that doesn't mean you need to go to the opposite side of the spectrum and bash their fucking head open with a kettle. Like, why is this the place we're going? Why is this being advocated for? That also doesn't mean you need to just start backhanding them before even knowing what's going on and just assuming shit. Like, you can discipline without beating the dog shit out of them. So obviously, just a whole lot more stupidity. But we're not done with the stupidity, because in this podcast, and towards the end, there was one other thing that Ben was really pushing, and that would of course be his upcoming fight with the Gypsy Crusader. And the funniest part about it is, I think when he was talking about it, he accidentally slipped up, and he was talking about how he's not a fighter, and other fighters would take this type of fight, but he's not a fighter, so it's more important, even though he's claimed to be some Russian underground fighter for I don't know how long.
Official announcement for the fight.
Oh, wow.
Right
Awesome.
now.
Awesome.
This is the first official announcement.
Very cool.
The fight is going to be in Orlando, Florida, August 29th. I'm fighting a Nazi, a guy who says that everyone should be dead except white people. You're not white. You just look white. He doesn't like you either. You're Armenian.
Yeah, I'm too Armenian. Yeah.
Yes. So, I don't need to fight this guy. I'm fighting him because of my mission. I'm the only influencer that is Israeli that is willing to fight this Nazi. Fighters will be willing to fight him, but I'm not a fighter. I could fight, but I'm not a fighter. I'm a businessman. I am a man that's chasing his son, doing the best to create enough recognition that his son will know who he is.
Yeah.
I don't have to do this. I have money. I'm already 36 years old. This guy here is a loser. He's got nothing. He doesn't have money. He doesn't have anything. He's a Nazi claiming that you need to gas the Jews and kill the niggers and all this bullshit, speaks very degrading about black people.
And yeah, I gotta say, I was not expecting Azoulay to feel so comfortable with this little glazer he has, to where he was just willing to come out here and drop the hard R just right in the middle of the podcast like that. Like, I feel like the point could have got across without doing all that, but he just fucking went for it. And that pretty much sums up the rest of this little podcast that we've already ripped apart and flamed the shit out of. So with that in mind, only a day ago, Azoulay decided that this podcast just wasn't enough humiliation, pounding, and embarrassment. So he also went ahead and uploaded his own little video on his channel, which was his little pre-fight speech that he decided he was going to do. And I don't know if you could really call this a speech. It was just pure stupidity.
Guys, 10 days out from this fight. Now, I don't know if you know, but I live in Calabasas. And it's an unbelievable place. Now, who lives in Calabasas? All the celebrities. My next door neighbor is Will Smith. Down the street from me, Kevin Hart. Me, King Azoulay, right there, just chilling in Calabasas. Now, why do I even have to take this fight? Because I'm fighting a Joker. And who's going to take down the Joker if not the Batman? I'm the real-life Batman. See, I'm not like Arman. Arman is the so-called Batman because he went and fought. But the truth is, he came from a wealthy family. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I created this Batman. I'm going to beat the Joker. And you know what, guys? Let me show you something. See these turtles right here? They've been here since I was a little boy. Since I was 13 years of age, I used to come here, I looked at them, and think to myself, man, what if one day I would become the Ninja Turtle? But somehow, I became the Batman. I can't wait for this fight.
And we're just gonna stop his goofy ass right there for a second, because I don't even know what the fuck that was. Apparently he's daydreaming about how he wanted to be a Ninja Turtle, but now he's Batman, and ended up being the Batman, even though he's got a Superman tattoo on the side of his arm, so I don't know what he's trying to be at this point. All I know is that this is already ridiculous, and just pathetic, especially when you open the video by trying to put yourself on the same level as like Will Smith and Kevin Hart, because you happen to live nearby them. If you even live nearby them to begin with. And it only keeps getting ridiculous as he keeps on just yapping away.
And I want to share with you one more thing. At the end of the day, if you only understand that me, the only man who is truly rich, self-made, and really a fucking G, doing this shit just to show the world that we don't give a about all the bullshit. We are real killers. And we take down motherfuckers like they're not safe. This guy's going down. It's exactly 10 days out. I can't wait. Can't wait to see his face. I can't wait to see what he has to say at the press conference. But meanwhile, I'm gonna get in my Rolls Royce and enjoy my La La Land fucking comfort. You see, you're not a real rich fucking person if you don't hang out at the fucking Commons, park at handicap, without a handicap sign, drinking coffee from La La Land, getting in a Rolls Royce and fucking driving away.
And I've got to say, that is the first time I've seen somebody try to flex the fact that they parked in the handicap parking spot when they're not handicapped. Like, this is truly some next level goober shit right here, where we are actually trying to flex the fact that we're such a piece of shit that we're parking in the spot of people who need it just because we have money and we're rich. Like, this ties into the beginning of this video where he just thinks that rich people apparently can do whatever they like and just get away with it. And it's just crazy to see. And he wasn't done because he then wraps up the video like this right here. And I'll just let it speak for itself.
You're back again?
Yeah, pretty much. What's up, bro?
Alright, well, let me close your door for you.
Gangster.
So one thing that most people don't know about me is that I am one funny motherfucker. People think that, you know, King Azoulay, he's pretending to be a tough guy. I am a tough guy. But what does it mean to be tough? To be tough is to learn how to be soft in hard times. So when soft times come, you can also be hard. So you gotta be able to switch it up. It's like the law of reversibility. The law of reversibility says this: if water can turn into steam, then steam can turn back into water. And that hot chick was checking me out. Now she's looking at the fact that I'm leaving in a Rolls Royce and I'm the G of all G. All right, closing speech, guys. Gypsy Crusader. And this is a promise from me. He won't be a gypsy. He won't be Crusader anymore. He won't be Paul, and he won't be fucking Miller. He won't even be remembered. August 29th. I'm not even gonna give him a new fucking birthday. I'm gonna fucking burn him alive.
And yeah, apparently he's gonna burn him alive. And this is some of the dumbest, lamest shit that I've seen in a hot minute. And it's gotta be rage bait. But with this clown, you never know, because he actually has the IQ of a fucking cucumber. And I wouldn't be surprised if he really thought that this was some kind of flex. But with that said, that is enough of him for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop the sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming the living dog shit out of all of these fake alpha males. And I'm out. Watching Bend Over Azoulay get bent over again. And peace.
You want to know what my days are like? I came back home after training at 7 p.m. I went to bed, woke up at 12:30, had the best sleep. By now it's 2 a.m. I'm cooking up a steak, a nice fat ribeye with a whole onion, just to make sure that I feed this body that's training 6, 8, 10 hours a day. 6 weeks, I've been training like a maniac. I brought my body, my physique, my mental state to the next level. Fam, I feel unstoppable, untouchable, with a mind that's impenetrable. Nothing could come through this. I'm bulletproof. I'm ready to fucking take out the clown.